Hey everybody, it's Lori. You know, this election, what it showed us is not that how divided we are in some areas, but how mostly businessmen and women in the states feel shortchanged by the government and, and need help, and how the poor, everybody's just desperate for something to change. And why the Democratic Party hasn't done better at getting the economic pricing back down, I don't know. So I don't trust them either. However, this is what we got to work with. So we need to work together still to see to it that the Democrats understand what we need is change. The Democrats need to understand that no, we don't want to give all our money away if our country's hurting. And we want to know why you aren't bringing up charges against those who created a false inflation on our economic uh, costs. It's um, it's a tragedy. And the Democratic Party also needs to remember that you work for the people, not just yourselves or for whoever. We'll just call it the whoever. And you need to realize that we're not stupid. We're seeing what you're doing. We were still trying to have faith because we hold on to those one sacred things that everybody brings up every election, abortion and women's rights and taxes and stuff. But what you don't realize is that we also see everything else you're doing. And we would like an explanation for taking out all those farmers across the nation in that one area. So you want to put supposed green climate ability for all these electric cars you want to put out that we don't want to pay for the electric anyway. We got gas. We don't need anything else. Our air's already clean. Our rivers and our lakes are clean, and they get cleaner every year. Our cars are clean when we drive them. This fallacy that you're driving on is just a bunch of bullshit. You're basing it all on a climate change that will readjust itself in less than 20 years. There are reasons we go through this every 26,000 years. Now, it does rebalance itself. So we just have to ride the tide and keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on each other. But the American people are telling you right now that even the ones of us that had faith in you are discouraged because you hadn't done enough so far for the American people to encourage us to even want to fight a lot. We want to see you make it on your own. You have to understand that you can't divide the American people anymore. We're not going to be divided. We're not going to be threatened anymore. We are going to stand together, even with the ones that were for Trump. They wanted Trump because he stood for that one guy that goes out there and fights for things, Even if he's the only winner, we take it because somebody won something. And that's sad. However, it makes a big statement on how the people need change. And we want it now. Not tomorrow, not after Trump gets in. We want that change now. We do not consent to the New World Order. We do not consent to the new climate control and everything else. Because once people start reading that after they read the 2025, they're not going to want the Democrats in there either. So all I can say is At this point in time, the American people need to stay standing together, and all humans on this planet need to stand together with your countries and get involved. Not in a violent way. That never works. Violence doesn't work, and neither does hate. But unity does. It does work, and it speaks volumes to those who want to control how we live, and we're going to tell them how we want to live. And that's with the freedom of everything the United States was based on. When it said, you know, we have a right to freedom and to pursue happiness in any way we want, and freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Freedom. We don't care who's rich. Most of us don't mind the little jobs or the middle jobs. Somebody's got to do them. And we need the discounts and all that crap going to anybody that makes less than $4 million a year, because they're the ones that are upholding everything, and they are the bulk, and they're also the biggest taxpayers. And the wealthy need to pay their taxes. Forget this wash about they don't have to pay anything because, oh, they got this write-off, that write-off. How they're making their own banks. They're making their own charities. They decide where that money goes. We had enough charities on the planet. We didn't need new ones made up so that they could get the money from our government, because they're willing to, you know, oh, well, we have that now, so we would like to take care of that. We don't want the elite in our tax money anymore. They seem to have found every grant that we have, and hell, the American people don't even know what's available to them. And that's what it was written for. There has to be a big swing in this country now by the Democrats and the Republicans, and you're going to have to work together, like it or not. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work together for all the people, for the greater good of all. That's your job. And if you don't like your job description, I suggest you get out of it, and we'll get somebody else in there. The division for the people, it will be no more. We realize that we have to keep an eye on you now, bigger than we've ever had to, and that's okay. We will. But we will watch everything you do, and we will fight it and argue, and we will have a voice from now on in the governing of the United States of America. And the rest of the world should do the same with their countries, and just tell them you don't consent to any of the bullshit that's going on, and you want proof. And I don't think that our money should go to the World Bank for them to distribute out each country that needs more, and we'll get less of our own money, so that we help clean up their messes around the world. Those are their messes. Whoever own those businesses that messed up those third world countries can go in and clean them their damn self. That's how I feel about it. And I think the rest of the Americans do too. And I think the rest of the world does too. It's only fair. And I want to know, and I want an answer and a response. What gives the United States of America the right to kick farmers off of their land, which is our food, healthy food, and allow Chinese companies to come in and buy that land real cheap, and then only set up one or two windmills, you know, the poles, and not even set up the wind farms? What are you really up to? Because I think the American people would really like to know. So at this time, I guess what we're making a statement about, because the Democrats keep asking me for more money and more money and more money. What the hell have you done for us so far? And I'm a Democrat, but I'm a conservative Democrat. And I just think the American people right now want some answers. And we want them as a group. We are united now. And we will watch everything you do. And we are going to make sure that we speak loudly if we have to inundate you with phone calls, emails, letters, or walk our asses to the Capitol. You don't understand that this isn't your country, it's ours. And while I'm at it, I don't have any. Hold on. We, the people of the United States of America, are informing the United States government, and we are informing the Judge of Earth. What do they call it? They've got a specific name. Let me just read it this way. We, the people of the United States of America, do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is out to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may have right to do. And for the support of the Declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge each of our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Where's that other? It's in there somewhere. I must have stopped. Here we go. Prudence indeed will dictate that the governments, long established, should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patience, sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present king of Great Britain, blah, 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 blah. Let's see, where's it say? I'm sorry, I thought I was more prepared for this. No, there's a particular. Oh. When the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal nation to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that we should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold all these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit for happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their powers, just powers, from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. And here we go. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, we the people, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare. There is a Supreme Judge of the world, and you can appeal to them your complaints. And you can tell them you do not consent to the way you're being treated and ruled. Make that real clear to the whole world. Now, it's a God-given truth. And this country is founded on these truths. So, the Democrats need to listen up, because we're finding you to be the more guilty party at the moment. I am, anyway. But what I'm saying is the people need to unite now for both sides to clean up their acts. This isn't about one group of people getting a lot of money and another group getting it. And the elite do not have any business getting any of our grant money or anything like that. Now, do I have all the answers? No, I'd have to sit down and go through your last 30, 40 years worth of amendments and new laws and the way you circled your way around all this crap. The regulations have to come back because that's the only thing that gives us fair trade and quality products. And it goes on from there. So, we the people are now united. And some of us don't even see that way, but we are. We're united because this was a 50-50 race. It was a good race. It was a tight race. It shows us what we're all looking for, and that is camaraderie, fairness, fair and just rulings, and fair and just governance. So, whether you like it or not, we got eyes on you now. And it's going to be up to the Democrats and the Republicans now to realize that there's just as many people on both sides that's going to keep an eye on you. And maybe that's what we needed to get to this level. But as the people, we are allowed to go to the supreme judge of this world and appeal for our freedom, even from the current regimes that are in our democracy now. Democracy works, but it has to have regulations. Capitalism does not work. All it does is feed a handful of people at the top. That's why it's falling apart. And that's why you've got so many people that are just fed up. They don't know what to do. And look how many homeless we have since you started letting our jobs go overseas and all this crap that you were trying to intermingle us with the rest of the world. They need to take care of themselves. We took care of ourselves. They needed to follow through on the way we do things. And they do it for their people. And everybody would have been happy. The millionaires would have still been millionaires. The people would have been happier doing the job. And we make our people clean up their crap. You don't clean up yours when you open a business over in another country. This isn't about the best taking care of the whole world. We're going to take care of the United States of America for a while because that's what needs attention. So that we are a backbone again, a strong country that is able to give freely when we need to. Right now, we are not. Right now, we are in a really tough situation. There won't be the kind of revolution you think. This is causing humans to evolve in their consciousness and the way they think and the way they look at each other. Everybody wanted us to split in half, but I think what it's going to actually do is create a unity. It's supposed to be both sides. You got your liberals that like certain things, which I agree with, and let's not go overboard. And let's talk some truth, you know, the truth about LGBTQ, whatever, TQ, whatever it is, the gay and trans, all that. All that was really about was insurance companies didn't want to have to pay for transitioning after a certain age. When they're younger, it's cheaper. When they're older, it's not. This is all about gays wanting the same rights as a heterosexual. They wanted to be able to support their spouse and get them insurance. A lot of this is about insurance. And you got a lot of small businessmen and women out here that lost a lot of companies. A lot of them closed during the COVID thing. And it never had to be. But you never bothered to tell them that there were those grants out there for them. But the really wealthy people knew about them. And they got money. They didn't need money. They made a couple million a year. So they could hold their own for a few months. Mom and pops can't. They go month to month. But we want the mom and pops. We don't like the big store stuff all the time. And now that we're getting food that's questionable almost every day, and the pricing is still being gouged, and there's only a small handful benefiting from all this price gouging, it's not the employees and it's sure not the store owner. So all I can say is thank you, America, for voting. Both sides. You let everybody know how you really feel and that the fight is on to save our democracy in every sense of the word and keep us out of that new world order, because it's not. It is set up for dictators and pharaohs. It's not set up for the people at all. And I think that where we're at right now is where we can sit in peace every day, sit and relax, and see our neighbor who voted for Trump. Don't see him as dumb. And I mean, we've gone through all this crap. And I'm tired of all the name throwing and all that, and we've all done it. We're all guilty. But we need to look at them as being desperate. There are a lot of people out there desperate. You've got people out there that, you know, I'll get phone calls. I don't know how my kids are supposed to support themselves now. They can't even afford a house because their house payment's twice as much as my house payment. My house is huge. They've got a point. This high rising pricing is all a run. It's called a bull run, and it's a false bull run on our livelihoods, our comforts. They laugh at they laugh at us over here in America because they say, oh, well, they're spoiled. They got their cars. I said, well, you rich people do. And we built this country. You didn't. Stay out of our country. It's none of your damn business in the first place. So, yeah. Thank you for showing us what does not work for the people. And for all the humans out there, all the people, the little people, I guess we'll call us. We're the little guys. But at least we're not the thieves. Although there's a few thieves, you know, because there's some people that can't even get a job. Because you had to dummy down everybody. Anyway, we got our eyes on you, and we got our eyes on the New World Order. We've got our eyes on the people of Earth who do not want to take this bullshit anymore. None of us consent. So back down and hold off until we see what we really want, because you don't want it any other way except at a round table and talking. And you won't listen to our governments anymore. You'll listen to the people. So start setting up some hotlines so we can give you our opinions. I'll help organize them if you like. Anyway, we are now united for the same reasons. We're fed up. We don't like certain things. But we knew, and most Democrats, especially the ones that are far left, they know that you got to give in certain areas a little more sometimes, and that's what we do. And that's what you have to do, because this country is based on the greater good of all. Leave no man behind. That's that. And every one of you little sapsuckers is from an immigrant at some point in your history of your family line. And if you really want to know the truth, you're all aliens in the first damn place. You forgot who the hell you were. And that's a whole nother subject. Go look at some of my other YouTubes. So, there. I said it. So, get off the high horse. Yes, if there's immigrants here that are part of the gangs and this and that, yeah, they got to be hauled ass out of here. We don't do that. And we do have restrictions and rules when you come in this country. They will be adhered to. You don't have to do anything stupid. Well, I hate that word, but anyway, you don't have to do anything stupid. We aren't here to hurt people. And I want to know where all them kids went. Did we ever find all the children that were taken? Where did they go? There's a lot of child trafficking. There's a lot of human trafficking going on in this world. And now they're bringing it to our country by the boatloads. You want to find out why? Start asking the real questions. Don't be afraid. That's all I got today. Lori out.